There are some conversations that don't need loud voices. They just need honesty. I'm really grateful you're here today because this one comes straight from the heart. After I shared my video about growing older and facing life alone, I spent hours reading through the comments you left. Every single one I could. There were thousands of them, far more than I could ever reply to. But I want you to know I didn't just skim past them. I sat with them. I thought about them. What I found wasn't simply a comment section. It was a collection of lives. Real people opening up about loneliness, about loss, about quiet victories no one else sees, about fear, resilience, heartbreak, hope, and what life truly feels like when you're walking through it mostly by yourself. And those stories stayed with me, because this isn't just another topic for a video. For many of us, it's everyday life. That's when I realized something. This conversation shouldn't only be about my thoughts, it should also carry your voices, because together they tell a much bigger story. So today, I'd like us to slow down for a little while. Let's reflect on some of the themes that appeared again and again in your messages and what they reveal about growing older, living alone, and the quiet courage so many people carry without anyone ever noticing. One thing became clear almost immediately. So many people are carrying fear, not the kind that makes headlines or causes panic, the quiet kind, the kind you keep to yourself, the fear of falling and wondering if anyone would even know, the fear of becoming seriously ill with no one to call, the fear of reaching the end of life completely alone. Those are incredibly difficult thoughts to admit, yet so many of you trusted this community enough to share them. That takes courage. It reminded me that there are countless people quietly carrying burdens the rest of the world never sees. If you've ever had those same thoughts, you don't have to explain yourself. Just know that someone else understands. Sometimes that alone makes the weight a little easier to carry. Another thing I noticed was how often people describe the ordinary moments that quietly define their days. Making a cup of coffee for one, watching television with no one beside them to laugh, talk, or even complain about what they're watching. Sitting down for dinner in complete silence. And yes, talking to their pets, because in many cases, those faithful companions have become family. There's absolutely nothing strange about that. Sometimes a wagging tail or a gentle purr is enough to remind us we're still needed. There's dignity in those simple routines. There is strength in continuing to live your life, even when it's much quieter than you ever imagined it would be. I'd love to know, what's one small part of your daily routine that brings you comfort? Maybe it's your morning coffee, a walk through the neighborhood, listening to old songs, reading before bed. Whatever it is, those little moments matter more than we often realize. Many of you also shared stories of losing spouses, lifelong friends, brothers and sisters, even children. Loss has a way of changing everything. People often say time heals all wounds. I'm not sure that's completely true. Time softens the sharp edges, but grief doesn't simply disappear. It becomes part of who we are. We learn to carry it. And for many people, that grief is what created the quiet homes they now live in. If that's your story, I'm truly sorry. Some days that weight must feel incredibly heavy. Something else appeared again and again in your comments. The feeling of becoming invisible, as if the world keeps rushing forward while quietly leaving older people behind. As if fewer people ask how you're doing. As if years of wisdom and experience suddenly don't matter anymore. That's a painful feeling, one no one deserves. If you've ever felt overlooked, forgotten, or unseen, I want you to hear this. You are not invisible here. This community has become a place where people listen to one another, where strangers encourage strangers, where someone who's having a difficult day can find comfort from someone they've never even met. Watching those conversations unfold has been one of the most meaningful things I've ever experienced. If you're struggling today, don't be afraid to reach out. You may be surprised how many people truly understand. Let me ask you something. What's one thing you wish younger people understood about growing older? I'd genuinely like to hear your thoughts. But here's something beautiful. Your comments weren't filled only with sadness. They were also filled with incredible strength. I read stories from people who learned how to stand on their own after life forced them to. People who found peace in solitude. People who adapted when everything around them changed. People who still find joy in a sunrise, a good book, a phone call, or simply making it through another day. That's resilience. Not because life became easy, but because you kept moving forward anyway. Sometimes courage doesn't look dramatic. Sometimes courage is simply getting out of bed, making breakfast, and choosing to keep going. What's something you've learned about yourself over the years that you wish you'd known when you were younger? One thing touched me more than anything else. So many of you said that reading other people's comments made you feel less alone. Think about that for a moment. Thousands of people scattered across different places, many of whom have never met, yet somehow they found comfort in one another. That's the kind of community the world needs more of. Because loneliness isn't a personal failure. It doesn't mean you've done something wrong. Sometimes loneliness is simply the price we pay for loving deeply, for surviving, for living long enough to say goodbye to people we never imagined losing. But loneliness does not erase your worth. It never has, and it never will. Reading your stories reminded me that some of the strongest people in the world are carrying battles no one else ever sees. Maybe that's why conversations like this matter so much. When we speak honestly, we give someone else permission to do the same. And in doing that, we remind one another that none of us has to walk this road completely alone. Before you go, I'd love for you to share one thing that still gives you hope, no matter how small. It might brighten someone else's day more than you'll ever know. As we finish today, there's one thing I want you to remember. Your story matters. Your honesty matters. Your life matters. I know many of us have days when we feel forgotten. Days when it seems like no one notices what we're carrying. But here, we see each other. We hear each other. And together we've created something much more meaningful than just another place to watch videos. We've created a place where people feel understood. Thank you for spending these moments with me. Take good care of yourself today. Be patient with yourself. Show yourself the same kindness you would offer someone you love. And remember this, you're not walking this journey by yourself. Neither am I. Thank you for being here. Until next time, take care of yourself, and let's keep moving forward together.